So the four connections and fourfold practice, four connection and fourfold practice help us in the freedom from the mind, or you can say fourfold practices leads to clarity about knowledge and action. That is our understanding today. Four connections. You see that? Four connections means that the mind is not impure, it is not obsessed with any thought, previous experience in the past. That is the impurity of the mind. So that impurity of the mind, that is a knowledge in the mind. I just gave lesson to one online. That's why I shifted a little change, the time difference, So I told you before also, she's a wonderful English teacher. She teaches in a school, she is recognized, and her house borders the school, and the school has a football stadium.
The noise.
Nice. So now it makes you laugh. Come on, what is this? But it does not make us laugh more or less the same thing we are also undergoing. Not see the same thing. The mind moves more or less in the same way. And she is totally obsessed with. I said, what happened? Yes, I did practice for 2 days, it was good, but. I said, what is but? But my mind is still, in anxiety, what will happen if I continue to have the noise? So I said, it is a doubt full of the mind that what is going to happen. So it is the thought. Yes. Is it not a thought? Yes. You have to use another thought to counter it, but with a clarity, with a doubt-free mind. Same alphabets gives you the word stress, anxiety, duality and a conflict. And the same alphabets gives you the word peace, happiness, love and the wisdom. Alphabets are the same. Alphabets are not affected. How you are affected? One reason, one way to understand that. Second way, when we always, what is the difference between the garden and the woods, the forest? You find, everything is distracted, you can even not walk there, some animals might be there. Both have the plants, both have the trees, and we make the garden organized, we prune it so that it looks beautiful. Same way, thinking. Same way, the one thinking, forest, woods, other thinking, garden. Same alphabets. Same alphabets gives me the knowledge that I have a stress. And the same alphabets, the knowledge gives me that I am in peace. It's a very subtle but very simple. No, what should I do? I said you have a thorn in the big toe. Do you use scissor or another needle to remove that? You need a structure like a thorn. which is the needle. You cannot remove it by scissor. So you take another thought, one thought by other thought. This is known as contemplation. Do you remember the 4 steps? Let me know the principle. I don't know. Let me understand it. So this is understanding. This is contemplation. This is contemplation. I said, are you a teacher? Yes. So divide yourself into 2 parts. So one is teacher in you and other is student in you. The student feels difficulty understanding and student is suffering. Awaken the teacher in you through these principles. Understand with a clarity. I gave that practice couple of months before. So I said, okay, you still have those noise coming to your ears? No, noise is not coming, but I am thinking. I said, thinking is creating an attachment to an obsession. You are obsessed with the thinking, even if there is no noise coming from the football stadium, and you claim that you have an anxiety and stress. What did I say? I said one thought over the other. I said, okay, keep looking at me. I do it online sessions, so we have a video conferencing. I said, the moment any thought comes, introduce another thought. Shantoham. I am the peace. No, I did it, but same thoughts are repeating. I said, why you are paying attention there? I said, let us understand the second way that I gave you. And you did it. After a week, 2 weeks, you did very well. I said, now, take an example. You meet me and you ask me, what's your name? I say, Shantoham. Where are you going, Shantoham? How old are you? I have the same reply, Shantoham. Where you live, Shantoham. I have only one answer, Shantoham, how your mind will respond. My mind will ask, stop asking the questions. That is what I am saying you. But if you are doing by the wake of a habit, it will not happen. Habitual mind will take over you. So then I gave the practice. I said, okay, eyes are closed. Now, anytime any thought enters into your mind, good or bad, high or low, just drop Shantoham. Shantoham. If there is no thought, still continue Shantoham. If there is any good thought, Shantoham. Not interested, not interested. And ultimately her mind became blank. I said, are you scared of the blankness? See how the attachment and the obsession and always running, mind, who is always in anxiety, does that. She said, blankness or emptiness also scares me. I said, that is the other side of the coin of your obsessed thinking. If the mind is open, blank, clear and fresh, still the mind scares, when that thought will come, thought is already there. The moment my mind thinks in the state of, I'm blank, if the thought of anxiety will come, it has already come. A subtle point. So the journey, now the Christmas is coming. We celebrate different events to allow the inner peace to be expressed with different celebrations, whether it's a Christmas or a birthday or any other event. I'm linking this. So what happens when we celebrate, for example, Christmas? We organize everything, we buy, we purchase, we invite. During that process, we are enjoying pleasure. Now the Christmas will come. Now there is a Christmas. We enjoy. But we enjoy by forgetting ourselves completely. That pleasure takes over all the thoughts that causes me the anxiety and the stress. When we celebrate an event in life, what happens after Christmas? Oh, I have to clean the kitchen and do this stuff, it has been mess. And that pleasure is also gone. What we are doing together, we want to make the entire life a celebration. We don't want to make a small event a celebration to experience the immense joy in preparing it, entering into that celebration and then losing it. That is why we celebrate these events every year. Now if I make the entire life a celebration, what is going to happen? This is the journey. This is the goal of the Eastern wisdom. Entire life is celebration. You'll be surprised, the death of my master also became a celebration. He said, I'm going to, once you reach to that state, and he said, everyone should keep smiling. The body is leaving, it has to leave, and if the person is not smiling, they should get out of this. This is also a celebration. He made his death also a celebration. So he said, no, you do not need to dig a grave. You have to put me into a wooden box with many openings and put heavy stones there and throw the body into the Ganges river, so that those animals will finish this body also. So you don't get a chance that you will visit the graveyard to pay homage. So if you want to pay homage to me, then change yourself inside. That will be the true homage to me. You live into that state. That is how these masters work. So the question, ask yourself from today at least until Christmas, how to make the entire life a celebration. That is where I'm coming to. How to make the entire life a celebration. I enjoy driving, whatever the car it is. I'm not obsessed with any car. I enjoy wearing. I enjoy wake up in the morning. I enjoy to be absorbed into the meditation. I enjoy expressing myself, how to discover that inner peace and happiness to the people. So I get an extra dividend besides the wealth I earn to maintain my life. So what happens? You make your life a celebration at work. I'm opening you, and I know you can understand. You make your life celebration when you are communicating to Louis or Eric or David. Don't bring in the past image about David. That is preventing you to make the life celebration. It is his problem. It is his attitude. It is his habit. Now see how the mind returns. No, but if he demands, still I can make my life celebration. We forget this. Why we forget this? The knowledge that we have in the mind is promoting an attachment. That is why we forget. So every knowledge at every point of time should lead me to express the inner peace and happiness. I don't want to have this, but it doesn't mean that I cannot celebrate, that I'm witnessing in your house. Why not? Why should the mind be guided and dictated by the likes and dislikes and attachment? Even being ugly is also beautiful because it is the existence who has created it. Who am I to blame? For existence it is most beautiful. So you see the changes in the problems and the challenges in David as a person. So what happens? You have committed to make that life a celebration. So you are witnessing how David is struggling to make his life happy. Only the path is wrong. He is also struggling. He also wants peace and happiness. So you see that clarity leaves the attachment. It may be one of the most beautiful sessions. You leave that idea. The blame and the complaint leaves you. Yes, he is struggling, but he is not at the point where he knows that the peace and happiness is inside. He is still struggling and running after the things and the objects outside to see the peace outside. That is the only problem. So he is performing those actions due to the attachment with a hope that peace and happiness is outside. So what happens? So what happens to your mind? You move with compassion now. Come on. Why you are struggling in the wrong direction? Here is a way. But how you can help, how you express to tell him that here is a way. Your expression is full of compassion, full of love and kindness, not of reaction, not of blame and complaint. So that influences, not only that it helps you to evolve, and that also helps him to evolve. See, the mom is not blaming and complaining. One day he will realize, I'm blaming myself, but my mom is not blaming and complaining to me. Look at this. That is how people come to me. 3 years I did a workshop in village, Camelback village. There's a big, where I met Eric.
I know where it is.
You know it. So yesterday, day before yesterday, I was in Phoenix, and she asked me, the woman who is a physician, she attended my program and she called me. Now I have a lot of problems with my son, and can you help me? I said yes. She still remembered. And she told me that your words were ringing in my ears. And I know you can help my son with an anxiety. You see that they are not my words. These words, the wisdom coming from the same tradition. I expressed it simply. She said, no, you have to take over him, and the first session went very well. He was very responsive, he was very intelligent. I started asking, and he said, can you go for the same 4-step relaxation? The first practice that I gave you. And he went very deep. No, we'll have a couple of more sessions. I'll pay you whatever. No, I said, whatever I want. No, that will be a difficult challenge for you. I may ask $1 million from you. So don't do that. I'll ask a minimum payment. That's what I charge. Look at this. The other way around, in psychotherapy, you dig deep down, and in every session you strengthen your idea of a blame, complaint, reaction. That is the big difference between the psychotherapy and this kind of guidance and mentoring and the practice. So I told the physician that I have taken his history today, and that is all. I have understood. Now the path is straightforward. And if you want to move vertically, it can happen in any and every session. You can ask me to stop it. He has achieved. That is done. So vertical means that you are putting your 100% in every session, and you will say, okay, I will meet you after a few weeks again. Otherwise, if you are not a seeker, then the path is, graph, sometimes the graph goes down of Joe Biden and sometimes the Trump. No, I'm just kidding. That is how our mind works. So, in today's session, you remember, think, ask a question, how to make my entire life a celebration. The body will throw a challenge. The relations will always throw a challenge. The employees will throw a challenge. But they cannot prevent me to make my entire life a celebration. So I address them, maintaining my life in the celebration. One example I gave you about David. That now everyone is evolving. If one is begging you for money, one is asking money, that is another way of evolving. Because he wants little more happiness by having little more money, which is not possible. Which is not at all possible, so you understand. So your response is very clear. This is the policy of our company. This is how we are always ready to give and share the wealth. Now, you see the expression is totally different. So your expression is making a life celebration. Same thing with Louis, same thing with Eric, same thing with everyone. So here lies the true catch. So I should maintain my awareness, knowledge. Whatever is happening, that I experience is the knowledge in the mind. Whatever is happening. I hear the noise, this is also a knowledge. You see that? I see this animal, this is also a knowledge. I see you, this is also a knowledge. So, once I have a knowledge, then I see if the knowledge is promoting dispassion. Knowledge is not promoting attachment. There are a lot of things that we will cover in the next session. So the knowledge is not promoting attachment. I will continue to go to Nancy. Not possible. Knowledge should not create attachment. No, she is wonderful. So, another point, the mind wants to have an attachment. No. Mind must express what Nancy needs and expects from me. So if the knowledge does not promote any kind of an obsession and attachment, we both have a wonderful relationship forever. Now see the result. Always have a wonderful relationship. The mind does not move towards blame and complaint and reaction and hesitation and expectation. It works towards good for each of them. Not many people understand easily when I start giving the lessons, but gradually they know. A dispassionate attitude, full of love and the wisdom, is the way to unlimited growth. And the same thing with an action. The action should not promote any kind of an attachment. Obsession, blame, complaint, reaction. So when people, sometimes they say, oh, it is not helping the way this teacher was saying. I said, who is responsible for helping yourself, and who is responsible? So understand with a clarity. Are you understanding? The mind moves habitually, and there is a habitual thought in your mind even if there is no noise. And that habitual thinking, you call it as an experience. That is the problem. It is repetitive thought. So what should you do? The second step. I don't understand, let me understand it again. But how do you understand? By the same alphabets, by the same thought. So the same thought gives you those principles, you introduce and see what happens. There is no dogma, belief, religion, no conditioning. I'm not pushing you that you have to believe me. So the action, think of this, making the Christmas the biggest celebration this year, action should be such that should not promote any attachment. The knowledge should not promote any attachment. Let the knowledge be expressed in love, care and affection with whom you are celebrating, and same thing with an action. So when you say, I'm very good, I'm okay, that deeper inside, now the action is free, knowledge is free from attachment. That is why you are experiencing peace and happiness. It is not my teaching. My teaching has been translated into that experience. So you have to make your entire life a celebration and